topic, really for me this year, or a really important topic is AI. So we're very unfortunate to have Xavier Perret here. I hope I pronounced that correctly. You're with Microsoft Azure. I think you're the director, and he's going to talk about AI Unleashed and how SaaSes can use this. And I'm going to vacate the scene here.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for coming in so early, for those who are here, obviously. As you were told, I'm going to talk about AI. I'm going to talk about movies also, but just to better understand what has happened this year, because it's been an incredible year in generative AI, of course, 2023. Everybody has noticed this, obviously, because everybody used ChatGPT, but not everybody understands what's behind, probably, and what has happened in 2023, but before that leads to exactly this year is going to pave the way for success here. And so that's 20 minutes here about what has really happened and how everybody can probably embrace that change to build the best B2B startups here. So, first of all, when you look at ChatGPT, and that's something I'm doing myself, I'm putting up video out of text prompts. So I'm using ChatGPT and Azure OpenAI on the left to build the best prompts, and then I'm transforming it into video. We don't have a technology problem. Those generative AI are today available for use. They are ready to consume. They are all in the cloud. Obviously, they are all in Azure, in Microsoft Cloud, which means that everybody can use it, which means that any startups, any unicorns, any company can today build on top of it and use those APIs to build new experiences. And if you're not doing it, by the way, competition will do it for yourselves. So there's an opportunity here to do stuff. Whenever you're either a developer or a simple developer, I would say there, I'm a developer, but that's not so complex to begin to process a new generative AI experience like here. The second topic on generative AI that is new compared to the digital transformation is the fact that we don't have an adoption problem. With those new large language models, this new kind of interactive experience that everybody has done through ChatGPT, basically everybody wants to use it. I mean, we already launched experiences like for Carrefour, for example, on a chatbot for menu, then to build your basket on Carrefour retail store, but everybody wants to use it. And usually now, people are expecting to have that kind of ChatGPT experience compared to former, I would say, mechanical bots there. So in any case, compared to, again, the digital transformation where people didn't have the right smartphones, they didn't know how to use those applications, those new experiences, here we're building on top of language, conversations, and everybody is talking, right? So we don't have, in 2023, an adoption problem. That's the two differences that are facing today that transformation. So you know what happened in 23. Question is, how did we come up to 2023? What really happened before that led to 2023? And that's what I'm going to explain to you now through, is it working? It is working. Through, it's not totally working the way I expected, but through movies. So what's your favorite AI movies, by the way, for example? Usually people tend to talk about this movie, 1968. Did you recognize it? Yeah, of course, I guess. It's 20 Space Odyssey from Stanley Kubrick. Why is that film so important? Basically, all the movies and the old movies are kind of linked to the technological advances at that period, especially the directors or the producers that wanted to build up the future, and so they built up their movies with futurologists, with novelists, but also with people in the technology. So let me explain, let me explain what happened and why we came to Gen AI. So you have to get back from decades ago, starting from the broad area of artificial intelligence, which is 1956, when people started to say, hey, computer can probably do a couple of stuff there, an intelligent machine can replicate or potentially exceed human intelligence. Then what happened in the 90s, because there were more compute, not exactly getting into the cloud yet, but still high-level compute, machine learning is a subset of AI that mimics the data. Then, 20 years ago, more or less, what we call neural networks or deep learning, the ability to put trenches of sets or subfields of AI or machine learning to build up better layers of processing, to have better insight, and then came generative AI. And you know why? I'm going to explain to you now that I can relate a couple of movies exactly to each of those dates up to now, and you're going to see it right now. So, do you know this guy? This guy is Arthur Samuel. He used to work in IBM. It's 1956. Obviously, he's playing dame. Dame in English is checks. Is it? No. Checkers, yes, checkers. So what he's trying to do is, he's kind of a lonely guy, and he wants to play chess against a computer. So what he does is, he's going to explain the rules of checkers to the computer, because he knows how to play. These are simple rules, by the way. It's not chess, it's checkers, so there are less variants in the game. So he's going to tell all the rules, and then he plays against the computer. And what he does is, he wins. So what he decides is say, okay, I'm going to play to the computer, but I'm going to add a second computer, and then that second computer will observe and will monitor, will record all the games I'm going to play against the computer, and it's going to help statistically the first computer to win. So it starts playing games, and the computer is getting better. But again, Arthur Samuel always wins. So what he does as a third step is, okay, I understand that, I don't have enough games. My probability are not enough. So I'm going to put two computers playing against each other. I'm going to have a third one looking at them, and I'm going to build billions, at least millions, of games, so that I'm going to improve the probabilities. And then he gets back to play against the computer, and he loses. That's what happened. So that's the process in the 50s or the 60s, and that's exactly what's happening in that movie, which is Space Odyssey. What is the story of Space Odyssey? Everybody's talking about HAL and about a computer. In fact, this is a story about a machine, a robot, an AI who is learning. Here, you don't see someone playing chess. He's playing chess. You're seeing a computer learning to play chess. And by the way, if you remember in that movie, at one point, HAL is trying to rebel against the astronauts, and then the astronauts are getting confined, and then they don't want HAL to hear what they say, and he's learning lip syncing. He's learning. It's a robot who is learning. Stanley Kubrick wanted to show AI that is learning, which was exactly the first technological advancements there. Obviously, in the 90s, you see lots of movies, but the first pivotal moment of the movies is there's a lot of data, so that's Matrix, obviously. So you get a world surrounded by data and compute. And probably Neo is the first data scientist of the Hollywood movies there. He's the first to understand what's behind the data and being able to reveal what's behind the data. So that's the 90s. Again, because those movies reflected technological advances of the 2000s there, and the fact that we were able to better compute, but also better collect digital data to better compute. Then if we're moving forward, great movie here, 2010. Everybody knows that, right? Yeah, that's Inception. So Christopher Nolan is like Stanley Kubrick, like Spielberg, one of the directors who's trying to do the best technological movies there. Or the movies that relates the most to some of its obsessions, I would say. Inception is about the brains, obviously. Inception is about neural networks. If you see the way you combine experiences that are imbricated, and the fact that the more you're into the imbrication of the brain, the speeder it gets, this is exactly how a neural network works. For people who have done a backpropagation, technically speaking, this is exactly the way it works. And it was also on purpose. That's 2010. And that's exactly what I wanted to reflect there. Something technologically speaking that relates to some of the best researchers on AI. Then comes generative AI. So obviously it's not a right photo, as you can imagine there. It's a mashup built with prompt text. So came generative AI. How did we came to generative AI here? Oh, something. Oops, here we go. So generative AI is a subset of all the AI. Of course, we've done already AI. AI already available through the cloud, through Azure. We are doing fraud analysis. We are doing a lot of predictions there. But generative AI is new. Why? Is because we pre-trained a lot of data sets to build pre-trained models. So if you remember, the partnership between Microsoft and OpenAI started back almost 4 years ago. There was like this PR announcement between Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, 4 years ago, where Microsoft invested $1 billion to start building, helping OpenAI build a large language model. There were others, there are still others, large language models, but what happened is we built up the infrastructure on Azure, which is called Azure AI, to create GPT 3.5 or GPT-4, and then we're deploying them in the different clouds in Azure to provide it to third parties there. So what has happened in the release of GPT 3.5, which was like October, GPT-4 January this year, was in fact a number of advancements, technological advancements, training compute, reinforcement learning, done since the last 4 years. And people tend to forget that. So there's a movie 10 years ago, you've seen it, that reflects exactly the kind of aha moment that we noticed when we were conversing with someone. Beware that GPT or whatever those models are just statistical machine. They're predicting the next word. But still, conversation is at the heart of what we're doing. And so it looks like someone is talking. It looks like someone is conversing. So that's this movie that I encourage you to see again. That's 10 years ago. Spike Jonze, Her, with the voice of Scarlett Johansson, where you have someone who is talking, conversing, adapting to an AI model, which is an OS, in fact, there. This movie is awesome because it's one of the rare movies when on your daily life, you see him on a computer, you're interacting with something which looks like what we all noticed in ChatGPT. So you see that this movie is the result of all the other movies there. So today, what do we have? So we have large language models. They exist, that's ChatGPT, GPT-3, GPT-4. They're all available on Azure. You got Meta, where Llama 2 with Meta, a great partnership. Well, we're missing things. So you can translate text and image into other text and image. You translate something. So those models have been built generically, but they can perform a lot of tasks that they were not trained for previously. And you will also be able to add images, and you don't have to explain the images, and then you're able to explain what the image is going to look like. So as an example, and something that is available if you want to test it, again, all those technologies I'm showing are available today. You put up this great movie, so that's photo of Up there, and you just ask, you don't explain the picture, and you just ask what will happen if the ropes are cut. And WC is going to answer. What's interesting here is, one, I didn't explain what the picture is about. Second, you see like it infer what's going to happen based on my question. And the third part, which is really important, is you can ask him to explain his action. You can say, okay, I get it, the balloons will soar into the sky, but explain to me, like if I'm a 10-year-old kid, and it's going to explain to you, you know what, there's the gravity, the balloons have got that kind, and I inferred it was probably helium because they are floating in the air, etc., etc. So you can even use generative AI to explain some of the decision-making process that the AI has done, or is trying to help you build upon your insights. So that gets back to responsibility here. What if we are implementing those tools in the right way? What does it mean, in fact? What is happening in the market today? So 2 insights here I wanted to share to explain why there's a great opportunity now for B2B and SaaS. First is, we know that we're flooded by digital. We are all suffering from what they call the digital debt. This comes from a great report, by the way, it's called the Work Trend Index. You can find a lot of stuff. It's a Microsoft-funded research done by a third party. So we know that digital debt is costing us time, efforts, energy, and innovation. The thing that we don't have, I mean, we have it in a specified amount, is basically time and energy during the day. What if we find a way that that time and energy is saved, basically that we automate all the tasks that we find tedious, that we could do in a different way? That is what's happening here. That is the opportunity. The second opportunity is there's a new AI employee alliance that we can build here. Of course, people are worried about what's going to happen with AI on their jobs, but at the same time, we are eager to have tools, B2B tools, to help us delegate a number of the tasks that we're doing on a daily basis that probably I don't want to spend time on this. For example, a developer. We know that a developer spends some time, a lot of time, trying to rebuild applications, document code, for example, find things in the internet or through GitHub, for example. Well, there's GitHub Copilot where you can automatically, through conversation, ask, can you build me that kind of application? Can you propose me a function that does and that? Can you create me a dashboard that would do that and that? So that I don't spend time trying to not learn the language, but spend time extensively for simple tasks there. Can you explain to me that code, for example? That tools, those services are already available. So that's called GitHub Copilot, and this is already widely used around the world. And if you look at responsible AI, there's something really important is how we're going to build it. Of course, AI will not replace us. We're still human. The question is how this generative AI can help us be more creative, generating more insights, so that we are better at doing the right decisions. But in the end, there should be always a human in the loop. So we got a responsible AI principle there. I explained before the explainability. How can you explain? What are the risks there? How do you build up experiences that will benefit to employees in an organization or to customers to improve the experience or the customer experience there? That's the opportunity today in the market. What is the difference between those two images, two movies? First one, we've seen it. It's HAL, Space Odyssey. Who is the guy on the right? Do you know it? Sorry? Interstellar, exactly. That robot is called TARS, by the way. There's a huge difference. So Interstellar, HAL is, so in 2001 Space Odyssey, 1968, the view of an AI that would potentially rule the world. In Interstellar, 2013, Christopher Nolan, TARS, the robot, which is an AI, helps. He's got a view, by the way, it doesn't look like human, we don't care, is the AI copilot, which means that not only is at our service, it does a lot of tasks about driving the space shuttle, for example, etc. But also there's an amazing scene in the movie where he's taking decisions, and then there's the Matthew McConaughey who is asking, why did you take the decision? And he explains the decision. That's exactly responsible AI here. So you see that even today now, those movies are depicting potentially what could be the future of AI, or where we should probably put AI, which is being the co-pilot of our digital lives or our digital business there. And those tools are available, as I've said. We don't have a problem of adoption, we don't have a problem of technology. Those tools are ready to consume in Azure, and there's an amazing opportunity because we've got so many things to potentially help us remove the daily burden, automating your emails. What were the emails I didn't get the time to read? What are the critical emails? Can I create automatically a dashboard there? I'm a legal, can I improve the way I'm going to use my knowledge or get access to that knowledge? Customer service, can I be a conseiller client, call center augmented through AI that's going to help me build up the case automatically so that I can spend more time with my customers, which is something we're doing with insurance providers at the moment, like Groupama in France. So there's an opportunity for you in B2B to create that new copilot based on those tools that are available today. It's Azure OpenAI, it's GitHub Copilot, it's Microsoft 365 Copilot. It's a number of things that are available in the cloud that are pre-trained there, and you can use to test, to deploy, to launch towards your B2B customers there. And so, as a conclusion, that's what we're trying to work. If you're a company today that wants to deploy that wants to leverage on those tools to build up the best Copilot experience, then come to see us. We've just launched here in Station F a generative AI accelerator to help and facilitate the development. So that's the new starter program we just launched up to October 8th. We're looking for candidates, companies who are post-MVP, to be sure that we build up responsibly the best AI Copilot on those tools that are today available, but that we're doing it in the right way. Here I go, my 20 minutes. Thank you, everyone.